I will deliver lower taxes, lower regulations, low energy costs, low interest rates, low inflation, and the greatest economy in the history of the world, which we had 4 years ago. And we want to bring wealth back to our country. We will have a 15% made in America corporate tax rate. Everyone will prosper, every family will thrive, and every day will be filled with opportunity and hope.
All right, joining us now to talk about all this, Texas Congressman and good friend Wesley Hunt. Wesley, thank you for coming back on. We always appreciate your time. I mean, Trump has, I think, at this stage, he's coming down the home stretch, he's running hard, and I think he's really got himself a comfortable message. He's at ease with it. He's pinpointing tax cuts. I want to get to that in just a moment. But it's sort of like, you know, when you're on the campaign trail, you try to get a mouthful out there that summarizes your particular party platforms, your policy platforms. I think he's getting that done, Wesley. And you know what else? I think the momentum is shifting in his direction because he's getting that done. What do you think about that? Is that too simplistic?
No, he's absolutely in tune with what the American people want. And we are hurting every single day because of inflation. We're getting crushed by taxes. And President Trump, who delivered the greatest economy that we had in my lifetime, wants the opportunity to deliver that again. And I'm going to have the honor of being with him in Nevada. And you're talking about a state that's so heavily dependent on the service industry. And when I had dinner with my family last night, my waitress walked up to me and she goes, you know, Mr. Hunt, could you please tell President Trump thank you for the no tax on tips that he is promising? What he wants is for every single American to have more money in their pocket so they could decide what they want to do with it, and they could reinvest that money into the economy. And we're seeing a shift in polling right now because President Trump is laser focused on what matters most to the American people. It's not DEI. It's not race. It's not mandates. It's not EV mandates. It is the economy. People are getting crushed at the grocery store. They're getting crushed at the pumps, and President Trump wants to fix that. And I think with the message that you're going to see here in the stretch in the next 23, 24 days, you're going to see a laser-focused President Trump on the economy because that's what he can deliver for the American people on day one, Larry.
Well, you know, it's interesting. I don't know if you had a chance. The CPI came out today, and it just shows you inflation, even at the slower rate, inflation is very sticky. And over the past 3.5 years plus, as you well know, prices are up 20%. And many prices, electricity, groceries, so forth, they're up much bigger than 20%. So there's that, and I think that's an issue. I just think I was with him Friday. I interviewed him for this show, and his grasp of detail and the scope of what he can talk about, which always amazes me, to tell you the truth. Even though I've worked for him and I'm a friend of his, he's still on top of his game, and he still follows events very, very carefully. Let me just ask, I want to go to the other tax cuts in a minute, but the 15% corporate tax cut, which would be about the lowest of all the industrial countries in the world. Produce here, you get 15%. And at a 15% tax rate, Wesley, you know what? Profits go up. That allows companies to hire more people. That allows companies to pay higher wages, which was the story. It was the wage earner and the lower income wage earner, by the way, who had the biggest percentage gain in the first term. It wasn't rich people at all. It was the middle and lower income people that had the biggest percentage gain by far. It had nothing to do with rich people. Now, you think that message can get out? 15%. That's a huge thing. It's a job creator and it's a wage creator.
Larry, Democrats will make you believe that these corporations are going to all of a sudden go out and buy a bunch of Lamborghinis and Bugattis if they get a tax cut. That's actually not how corporations run. The first thing they do is they reinvest that money back into their companies and back into the future of the companies. They reinvest back into their employees. 401ks go up. They're able to hire more people. They're able to expand their business. Again, a lower tax rate means that any business in this country, regardless of what field, has the opportunity to prosper. Now, Now, I'm down here in Houston in the energy corridor. Energy is the most important industry, in my opinion, right now, especially given what's happening all over the world. Imagine what these companies can do if they can reinvest back in their companies, become more innovative, become cleaner, become better, and hire more brilliant minds to work for the company. That's what you get when you have tax cuts. And that's also what you're going to see with the economy in the future. You're going to see a boost in the economy when President Trump comes back, because, again, people will then take those tax cuts and reinvest in goods that they want to buy, which is also going to stimulate the economy. It really is just that simple.
Well, that virtuous circle, includes when you have 100% bonus depreciation. That helps you buy machinery and equipment, which is great for productivity, which in turn is great for higher real wages. So it's a virtuous circle. How about the others now? President, you mentioned the tax-free tips. Okay. He's going to cut the tax on Social Security beneficiaries. All right, that's important. He's going to take the tax out for overtime. And then most recently, he's saying no double taxation for American citizens who happen to be working overseas. How do you feel? Are those as popular as these other ones we mentioned, particularly the tips tax, and I suspect the corporate tax of 15%? Does the other stuff work too? Is there enough time to explain that?
Of course there is. And again, with the message that we're going to see for the next 24 days, again, laser focused on tax cuts and any avenue that we can help just regular middle class people that are living paycheck to paycheck, allowing them to have more money in their pocket to, first of all, recover from what we saw from the past 4 years and then get back ahead. Today, we are seeing record credit card debt. We are seeing people defaulting left and right. And that's just because we can't afford to live right now. So what President Trump is offering is an opportunity for the American people, as I keep saying, to have more money in their pocket to reinvest back into the economy to stimulate this economy. Democrats have a different idea. They think that just by taxing the rich or taxing corporations, we're going to fix this. That's not how this works. What you said a few minutes ago about how this benefited the middle class when President Trump was in office couldn't be more true. The left wants to tell you that only the rich got the tax cuts and they benefited the most. No, every single American, black, white, Hispanic, Asian, we all benefited from these tax cuts. And as a family of 5 in my house, I want to see it too. And I do not want to see the American people suffer needlessly, especially when we have all these God-given resources, these great people, great minds, and great industries that exist right here in this country.
Well, I'm just thinking, as you said that, all this left-wing stuff, Kamala stuff, we're going to tax rich people, and we're going to tax rich corporations.
Yeah.
Wesley, that stuff is so old. All that left-wing pap is so old, and people have heard that for so long, I don't think anybody really believes it anymore. But I got to get out, Wesley Hunt. I could talk to you all day. We're still going to have our dinner in Washington, D.C. Thank you for coming back on the show.
I can't wait, Larry. Looking forward to it.